Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, I just want to share with you a word and say, have another thought. Let's start off with 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. We all need encouragement from time to time. All of us, at some time or another, face crisis when everything seems to just be falling apart. Sometimes we just do not know how things are going to turn out. There can also be times of fear that when every sense of security is threatened. In all those kinds of situations, we need to be encouraged in the Lord. As I think about everything that's going on in the world today, and even within our own home, in our environment, our workplace, is it possible that God had intended for crisis to be allowed in our life that would force us to seek some answers from deep within? Is it possible to think thoughts just promotes discouragement? I am reminded of a couple examples in the Bible where a person caught the wrong thought. Sarai, who was promised a child, had a thought that God has refrained her from having a child. Elijah thought he was the only prophet that was running from Jezebel. And then David feared his men were going to stone him. So let's go to that story. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 30, starting with verse 6. David strengthened himself with trust in his God. He ordered Abiathar the priest, the son of Amalek, bring me the ephod so I can consult God. Abiathar brought it to David. Then David prayed to God, shall I go after these raiders? Can I catch them? The answer came, go after them. Yes, you will catch them, and yes, you will make the rescue. This was the time when David and his men lost everything. His wives, children, and all of their belongings. It is interesting to note how David's men reacted when they discovered the terrible loss. In verse 4, then David and the people who were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. Some of them sat down and wept until they had no more tears to shed. But others complained and blamed David. So verse 6, now David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him. Because of the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and his daughters. Some went so far as to suggest that they stone David. I want to point out where the scripture says, because the soul of all people was grieved. This is a moment in time of great loss, and they could not see beyond what they lost. So all of their emotions were wrapped up in everything that they had that was taken away from them. It is always easy in a crisis to blame someone else or to look for a scapegoat. Because David sought the Lord, provision was given to him to destroy his enemy. God has a way of providing an answer. In this story, he provided an answer by allowing a person who was with the Amalekites that plundered the village, the family, took everything they had, to be left behind. Because this person, who was originally with the tribe or with the enemy, was left behind because this person was sick. So they were of no use for the enemy, so they left them behind because they were just damaged goods of no benefit to them. The one thing that I thought, wow, when we look at our circumstances, we don't tend to see the answers. But when we do seek the Lord has a way of putting something in our path that'll take us directly to where we need to go to get what we've asked for. So David went to the place where the Amalekites had taken his people. Nothing or no one was missing. He took everything they had taken back and also all the Amalekites' resources. What does this have to do with encouraging yourself in the Lord? A lot of times when your life gets hairy, you are tempted to do what David's troops did. You are tempted to take it out on someone else because misery loves company. You are in a pit of despair, and instead of spending time with the Father, and asking him what to do, you will entertain thoughts that will bring on hopelessness. We have a choice. We could either, as great as many of us do, just stand there and continue to look and see nothing but disaster, or we can look beyond those circumstances and look for God. David looked deep within himself, and there he met God, and he found the strength and direction to carry on. Remember, be careful not to react to your disappointments, your loss, your trauma, your circumstance against those that come against you in ignorance. You may end up hurting someone with your words. Remember, hurt people hurt people. But as you go back and reflect the story with David, his battle was with the Amalekites. So what does this mean to us? The spiritual meaning of the word Amalekites means valley dweller. It represents a great realm of the mind that is within the subconscious. The enemy loves to invade our subconscious with hopelessness and fear. So if the enemy can control your thoughts, he can control the outcome of your situation to a deeper level of self-destruction. These thoughts can create fear, cloud your understanding, and now is the time to be still and know the Father. He will help you by giving you understanding and a strategy to recover all. Thank you for joining with me today, and remember to seek the Father in everything that you do. And today, have a God thought.